Hello, Rumble. What's going on? Alright. I get on YouTube and I start flipping through YouTube and TikTok and all these different video, even Rumble and whatever. I see one thing that kind of sticks out to me. Abandoned places, theme parks, hotels, abandoned places around the United States. This great land was once a thriving place. It had people going places, be able to afford to go places, do things, go stay in these hotels, no big deal. Well, you see these theme parks that are abandoned, you see the land just wasted by corporations, by greedy corporations. And they don't care, they own them now and they don't want to sell them, they just own the land. It's just sitting there, wasting, molding, falling apart, decaying. And you see all this stuff sitting on it, like golf carts and all this other stuff that could be recycled and reused and rebuilt and repurposed and whatever. The rides, cars could be turned into golf carts or something cool, with somebody with a mind and imagination. So, and then all this other stuff sitting in the rooms and all this stuff that could be recycled and, or at least repurposed, reused by somebody, given away. Beds, bed frames, stuff like that. Anyways, all this stuff, even plates and dishes. Oh my goodness, these videos show that there's a lot of plates and dishes just sitting around that people could use. Nice plates. And somebody like me that's kind of a scavenger type person that loves to recycle and repurpose and reuse, and wish I had a place I could do it, a house or a warehouse I could put it out for sale, get that kind of stuff and put it out for sale. But you see all this stuff that's out, and you see that it's wasting away, or it's just getting shoved into a landfill, or it just sits there and rots for 100 years or more, or whatever, until somebody decides they can afford to pay $35 million for the land and then dump another $35 million into it, redoing it or whatever. But really, these places are just sitting, rotting away. This is the signs of the time where the greed has gotten a hold of America, and the greed is destroying this country, and you can see the evidence of it. But yeah, you can see that even all this plastic and stuff like that could be turned into something else, into bricks or something, or some building material, boat docks, boards, or something. You see the signs of the time, and it kind of is disturbing in a way, because the people are sitting back going, well, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, I don't care. Then you go and try to get salvage rights on it. You have to go through all this government paperwork, government permission. And it's like the boats that are off the shores of Texas, Louisiana, and they're just sitting derelict. Nobody wants to go get them because the government has made it so hard to pull it out of the water. See, the longer it sits in the water, the more pollution it makes. Same thing with this land. The longer it sits, the more pollution it's putting into the land and the air. And so, in order to do something with it, the government has made the red tape so hard to do anything with it. And these millionaires and billionaires, they charge stupid prices for these lands or properties that the only thing really good to do is just level them, pull everything out recyclable, the metal, put it in a pile, anything that can be reused, repurposed, whatever, put it out to be sold or have an auction or whatever, do whatever, and split it up and try to make some money off of it. And the rest of it just plow it down, because there's so much mold and garbage in there that really, to rebuild it, you would be spending way too much money. And this is the problem. These billionaires, these people whining and complaining about climate change and all the pollution in the earth, they're the ones polluting the earth with the jets, the cars, the trains, all this other bullshit that they're doing. They're the ones that are creating all this pollution. They're putting products that they're trying to sell in this plastic, which the plastic ends up going into our rivers and oceans and everything else, you know. So you see this land that is abandoned, these properties that are abandoned, and you can go clear across the United States and see complete towns, complete communities that are abandoned. You know, go through Panhandle of Texas here, and Arizona, New Mexico, and everywhere else. You see these places that are completely abandoned. These videos, abandoned videos on YouTube. People are making the videos, and I love the videos. I would love to do them. I would love to do these videos and show that these places, even right here in the Panhandle of Texas. I got a granddaughter who would love to do it with me. Go see these places. That would be cool. Actually, I got 2 granddaughters that would do it. And I'm telling you, these places, some of them are historical and some of them are just the signs of greed. Some of them are the signs of people trying to gain power where they don't really actually have power. See, if we were really going to clean up this earth, if we were serious about cleaning up this earth, we would find ways of taking these abandoned buildings, tear them down, take the material that's in them, and do something with the material. Separate the metal, separate the things that can be recycled, reused, repurposed, and quit producing, because every time we produce a new car, anything new, that puts more stuff in this world that eventually is going to sit in somebody's garage or shed or abandoned place, or it's going to end up in the ocean or landfills or whatever. This consumerism lifestyle that they've been pushing on the American people, you know, the greedy billionaires, have been pushing with the propaganda called commercials. You see it. It ends up being put in landfills. It ends up in burn piles. It ends up in abandoned places, forgotten about. And then unfortunately, when people pass away, family members don't want to deal with all this junk that they have gotten over the years. And they have estate sales, and then whatever's left over, they just say, free, come get it. We don't care. And you sit back and you watch all this stuff, because I've done recycling and hoarder home cleanups and all kinds of stuff. And you see all the stuff that, because of man's greed and man's ideology of, hey, I gotta have the latest, greatest stuff, you see this, and you see these commercials and these everything, oh, you gotta have this, you gotta have that, but there's no way to recycle all this stuff. There's no way to reuse it or repurpose it. It's like these perfume bottles that they sell that are $500, $1,000, $10,000 or whatever, that are so big. You gotta find a glass recycler, or you just throw it in the landfill like everybody else. Metal cans, use it for target practice, and it ends up laying on the ground for 100 years. You know, this is the problem. You got scrap metal people out there that are trying to clean up the earth. They are actually trying to clean up the earth because they're trying to grab the metal, take it to the recycling, make money as they're doing it, but they're not making enough for their hard work in separating the copper, brass, and all that, and breaking it down and actually making it so it is recyclable. They don't make enough. Those people that do that should be getting paid, and I mean seriously paid, because a lot of that metal ends up in your home. A lot of that metal ends up in your cars, your new cars. A lot of the recycled plastics end up in your new products. And I'm telling you, recycling is a scam in a way, but yet if you was to make something usable out of it, plastic paneling for inside, or deck, they make those deck boards that are what, 2 by 12 or 2 by 8 or whatever, but they're plastic deck boards that are about that thick, and they put them out. They're made out of recycled plastic and sand. If you would do that, that makes a useful product. See, people don't think like that, and the government makes it so hard to start a business, a corporation, of doing that and putting that up in mass production, that all that red tape and the taxes and everything else, and you got these codes and this and that, and nobody wants to do it anymore. Nobody cares to do it. And then we end up with landfills, and we end up with trash being thrown out in the middle of nowhere, dumped because people don't know what to do with it. So, in actuality, what do? Government has made it hard for us Americans to use our ingenuity to make new products out of old products, or to reuse or repurpose, or to tear down and rebuild and restructure, because they don't care. They don't care about your rights. They don't care about your freedom. They don't care about your health. They don't care about nothing. And it is so evident when you watch these abandoned videos. The greed of the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and everybody else way back in the day was evident. Edison and everybody else, it was way evident. They got so greedy and so powerful, and they hid under the guise of these secret communities or secret groups, you know, Freemasons, Illuminati, and everybody else, that they used that greed and that power to develop all this waste and to push their propaganda on you. If we're serious about climate change and the Green New Deal and all this stuff, we need to look at all these places that are sitting abandoned and say, how can we clean them up? What can we do with these properties? What do we do to clean up our own environment, our own communities, our own states? What do we do to clean them up? A lot of people are more worried right now about trying to make a living and feed their family, and these illegal immigrants and their gun rights and everything else. But yet our world is wasting away. Our world is falling apart. Our world is getting polluted. Our land is polluted. Our water is polluted because of the greed and all this greed and this agenda pushing of the billionaires. They're putting out these forever chemicals in the ground, and they're poisoning the water, poisoning the land. Why? So you can only buy from them. They only want you to buy for them. The consumerism, they want control of it. They don't want you to think outside the box. They don't want you to be educated. They don't want you to know how to repurpose and reuse and recycle. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know you can live without them. They don't want you to know that you can be independent and self-sufficient. They don't want you to know that there's so much stuff in this world that we never have to buy another single new product. We can reuse what is out there. But no, everybody wants the latest, greatest, new, fashionable, smart TV, smart home, smart this, that, whatever. And you see where the world is going away. It's wasting away. It's polluted. Y'all be good. Be safe. Have a great and wonderful day.